everyone, my name is Ronak and you are watching VectoArt. So in today's video, we'll take a look at the XAML code editor in the Visual Studio IDE, which includes all the tools you need to create WPF applications on the WinUI platform. This video will both serve as a role that describes the code editor and also will help you develop XAML-based applications and the features that are unique to XAML code editor in Visual Studio. So let's start. Let's start by looking into the XAML code editor UI. While the code editor window for XAML apps shares some UI elements that also appear in a standard IDE, it also includes a few unique features that make developing XML applications easier. Here's a look at the XAML code editor window itself. Let's take a look at the functions of each of the UI elements in our code editor. So let's start with the first row. In the first row on the top of the XML code window, there are two window drop-down lists. However, if you view the tooltip of these UI elements, it further indicates them as the element window and the member window. The window drop-downs list have different functions as follows. The element window on the left helps you to view and navigate to siblings or parent elements. Specifically, it shows you an outline-like view that reveals the tag structure of your code. When you select from the list or focus in the code editor, will snap to the line of code that includes the element you selected. The member window on the right helps you view and navigate to attributes or child elements. Specifically, it shows you a list of properties in your code. When you select from the list, your focus in the code editor will snap to the lines of the code that includes the property you selected. Next, we have the mid pane or the code editor itself. The mid pane is the code part of the XAML code editor. It includes most of the features that you will find in the IDE code editor. We'll touch several of the universal IDE features that can help you develop your XAML code. We'll also highlight the unique to XML features in this IDE too. So let's take a look at some of the quick actions. You can use quick actions to refactor, generate or otherwise modify codes with a single action. For example, one useful trick that you can perform by using quick action is to remove unnecessary usings from the C# code in main window.xaml.cs tab. So let's go there. And if you highlight the first using or any of the using statement, right click and refactor action. Here it will show you a drop down list. Choose whether you want to fix all occurrences in the document, the project or the solution, and then view the preview dialog and then choose apply. You can also access this feature from the menu bar. Okay, but let's first apply it here. And you can see all the unnecessary using statements are removed. Let me undo this. And now we can also do the same thing by going to edit, IntelliSense, remove and sort usings. Okay, now let's next take a look at the change tracking. The color of the left margin allows you to keep track of the changes you have made in a file. Here's how the color relates to the actions you take. If we go back to the designer, changes you have made since the file was open but not saved are denoted by a yellow bar on the left margin. After you have saved the changes, but before closing the file, the bar turns to green. So if you see here, I will add the width property to the button and you will see that the bar is yellow, and once I go to the file menu and save the main window.xaml file, it will turn to green. You can also turn this feature on and off. Change the track changes option in the text editor settings. Tools, go to tools, options and text editor. Now right click context menu. So when you are editing your code in a XAML code editor, there are several features that you can access by using the right click context menu. Most of these features are available universally in Visual Studio IDE, while some of these specific to using a code editor along with design window. Here are some of the features. One is the code view, which opens the programming language code window, which is typically tabbed next to the default window view that includes the design window and the XAML code editor. Then we have the quick actions and refactoring. Refactors generates or otherwise modifies code with a single action when you hover over the code. We just saw that previously. Then we have the rename option. So if you go to the code behind, rename namespaces only. If you don't have a namespace to rename, you will receive an error message that says only namespaces prefix can be renamed. Then we have remove or sort namespaces, removes unused namespaces, and then sorts the namespaces that remain. But next we'll move on to the one that is called peak definitions. So previews the definition of a type without leaving your current location in the editor. So this means that you can have a small preview of the code. For example, if I select this and give peak definition, it will show you the type without leaving your current window. So here I'm not going to a different window. It is providing me a small window with the definitions. So next one is, so if you highlight this and right click, and we can go to, I'm not finding it. Okay, it will be in snippets and surround with. So the surround with option, which we use to add around a selected block of code. You can select within these surround with options. Here I have selected the region section, and it will surround the selected code with the region. Then we have the option of insert snippet. Insert snippet inserts a code snippet at the cursor location. So I'm just taking the same example of inserting a region. Then we have the usual options like cut, copy, paste, which are self-explanatory. Then we have the outlining option, which expands and collapses section of the code. Yeah, that's about it. Then we can go to the scroll bars. So the scroll bars can do more than scroll through your code. You can also use it to open another code editor pane, and you can use scroll bars to help you code more efficiently by adding annotations to it or by using different display modes. Yeah, so let's split the code window. So to split the code window, in the scroll bar of the code editor, there's a split button at the top right. When you choose it, you can open another code editor pane. This is useful because they operate independently of each other, so you can use them to work on code in different locations. Use annotations or map mode. So we can also change how the scroll bar looks and what additional features it contains. For example, many people like to include annotations in the scroll bar, which provide visual cues such as code changes, breakpoints, bookmarks, errors, and positions. Other appreciate using map mode, which displays lines of codes in miniature on the scroll bar. Developers who have a lot of code in a file might find that map mode tracks to lines of code more effectively than does the default scroll bar. So that was it, guys. So hope you all liked watching this video. If you do, please do subscribe to my channel and do check out my other videos on WinUI 3. I will leave a link in the description. Please do check it out. Till then, bye bye.